Hello, I'm Dick Myers, and I'd like to welcome you to the National Salute to the U.S. military. During recent operations, you've seen the best of America's young men and women respond to terrorism and oppressive regimes. They fought valiantly to defend our freedom and to extend that freedom to others. It is fitting to remember the thousands who selflessly served in harm's way and those who continue to serve every day. Operation Tribute to Freedom is a series of community-sponsored patriotic events designed to recognize the efforts of these great people and the sacrifices of their families. I want to thank all Americans for their support of our military. America is proud of those who serve her, and I'm honored to serve with them.
Our dad's coming home, and it's really a big thing for us.
The only thing I could do is just pray that they don't make it fine.
I can't believe he's actually coming home. It's wonderful and I'm excited.
I want my husband, my kids want their dad.
I think all of us can be proud of what they've done and be proud of who we are as Americans.
It's such an emotional experience to meet these young people and to realize that they're fighting for us and fighting for their comrades who are next to them and doing it with precision and loyalty and honor. They're the best of America. They're our heroes. American people give us this equipment, they give us these airmen, that's their sons and daughters. We try to do our best to take care of them and make sure they're trained and ready, and they were. I'm very, very proud of our people.
This is your United States military. We're honored to serve America, make the contributions that we have because we all have the same thing at heart, and that is the preservation of the finest nation in the world.
I'd like to thank all our citizens for the great support for our young men and women in uniform, because in a democracy, you can't have a strong military unless the people, the citizens, support that.
People are indeed our most precious resource. Without them, the best equipment in the world has no value. They are the ones who make a big difference.
It seemed like the day would never come.
There's no better feeling to be here right now.
Welcome to the 2003 McDonald's Air and Sea Show, a national salute to the United States military. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen. Welcome to Fort Lauderdale Beach. Again with me this year is retired Brigadier General Gibby Bartan. And Gibby, over the past 8 years of the show, we've talked about the wow, gee whiz factor of what we've seen.
Yes, we've seen a lot of the best, but this year I think the men and women of the U.S. military demonstrated how you use this stuff, and that's what gave us the big edge in Iraq.
We're talking water, we're talking air, and we're talking some names that'll now be a little bit more familiar to people, like A-10s, for instance.
That's correct, and of course we have the B-2 and the B-1. All of these airplanes and equipment that we used on the water and on the land really came through for us.
The crowd has gathered here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and they have turned their eyes skyward. For there, the U.S. Army Golden Knights are disembarking from their aircraft, first in free flight and then under parachutes. Now, one of the parachutes has the Stars and Stripes in tow. They are being circled by the Red Baron Squadron. It is an awesome sight of red, white, and blue as we start this national salute to the United States military. Following the arrival of the flag from Homestead, 482nd Fighter Squadron and F-16 flyby. We start our show with the F-18 Hornet.
It's an all-weather fighter and attack aircraft, a workhorse for the U.S. Navy, and it supplements the F-14 in defending the fleet. This aircraft did a lot of hard work in Afghanistan and in Iraq in close air support.
And Gibby, one thing we're going to talk about with every one of the fighters that we see today is the tremendous maneuverability of these aircraft.
Well, fighter pilots will tell you that speed is life, but maneuverability is part of that equation.
The F-18 Hornet of the United States Navy. What a sight to see. We're going to continue with more exciting action on the McDonald's National Salute to the United States military, so stay with us.
We talk about the greatest generation. I think that these young men and women are writing a new chapter of what the greatest generation is going to become. They can do anything, and they've proven it.
McDonald's new McGriddles. Crisp bacon, fluffy egg, and melted cheese. Sandwiched between two griddle cakes with the taste of maple syrup baked right in. Honey, you ever seen anything so bizarre? Honey?
No, I haven't.
Introducing new McGriddles. They're bizarre, but they're yummy.
Who's your sensei?
Rockstar Games presents Midnight Club 2. Out now for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. Midnight Club 2, rated T for teen.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
This McDonald's Air and Sea Show special is proudly presented by McDonald's and by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever. Well, the fans are getting a special treat. This is the only original PT boat that was actually used in the military service that is still in operation today, and it operates out of Key West, Florida. Sort of out with the old and in with the new. This is the F-117 Nighthawk. It is a stealth aircraft.
And it's the beginning of the stealth technology and the effective delivery of precision-guided weapons. You'll notice the angular surfaces and the black coating, which are designed to absorb and reflect radar waves from hostile radar installations.
When you look at this aircraft coming at you, it looks like a frisbee on the horizon, and all of a sudden it's there. You don't even hear it. The sound is all behind it.
Yes, it is. And you'll notice the flat exhausts in the back, which are to dissipate the heat signature.
Now, one of the most important elements of the war in Iraq recently were the reserve units. This is the 920th Air Rescue Wing, which is a reserve unit out of Patrick Air Force Base. Gibby, more than ever before in history, I think we found out the importance of the reserve units that were highly trained and ready to go when called on.
And they're just back from Iraq with their HH-60s with a distinguished record in combat rescue, 17 of 27 unclassified saves, and we don't know how many others they participated in. I think one of the unique things about our forces are the need to rescue our downed airmen and our trapped troops.
And it was a job well done, and when they come back, they go back to their jobs, which literally they represent just about every vocation in American life.
In the reserves, you have a lot of guys that are just normal pilots with the airlines. You have guys that work in restaurants. They have guys that are like myself that are in law enforcement, fire department, across the board. And when it comes time, like this moment in our life, 9/11 happened, we pulled together and our unit set up and we went to Iraq and we did our job.
We could not have done the operations the way we did them in Iraq without the reserve force. All the services required them. As a result of the Cole attack, we learned a lot of lessons. We had to ramp up very quickly the kind of protection and anti-terrorist actions that we had to do. We couldn't have done it without the reserves. So they've been extremely valuable to us.
46% of the Department of Defense manpower is in the Guard and Reserve. And we share that manpower with our employers. And it's important that we cooperate and work together so that our country is defended and that the employers get the best employees that they possibly can. And that's what our military provides.
Our freedom is preserved because of their sacrifice. And this is one way McDonald's is representing to all of America how much we appreciate what happens in our local communities.
People are your greatest asset, no matter what successful company you're involved in. And veterans, reservists are good people, and they cannot be penalized if they're going to protect their freedom and protect my business.
I don't see myself as a hero. The heroes are still back there, and some of the heroes didn't make it. Those are the real heroes.
Business and community leaders gathered to honor the employer support of the Guard and Reserve program. And the key highlight of the event was a statement of support signing. With over 200,000 reservists called up for Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, support of the business community is absolutely essential for success of the military operations.
Now we turn our attention to the civilian side of the air show, and this is exciting.
Just be patient and away we'll go.
You just met Sean Tucker.
All right, the heart's already beat. You want to look good when all those folks are watching. Everything looks righteous, man!
Some of the finest aerobatic pilots in the country have gathered together in Fort Lauderdale, Florida to be a part of this salute, the national salute to the U.S. military. Sean Tucker, without question, outstanding.
I don't think I've seen a guy that enjoys flying more than Sean, and it's hard to believe he started out with a fear of flying.
As a matter of fact, he says that's why he got into it. He wanted to overcome the fear.
Do we think he overcame it?
I think he's done it in aces.
Look at those arm muscles tense up when he's doing those maneuvers. He's going backwards at 100 miles an hour.
A tremendous amount of stress on the wings of this small plane, but he knows how to handle it. He handles it just like part of his body.
Well, that's how you do a torque roll.
Now he'll pull up to 10 positive G's and 7.5 negative G's.
Forced. Should burn it.
Without question, one of the finest aerobatic pilots in the entire world. Here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Sean Tucker is his name. Unbelievable maneuverability with that little aircraft.
He says that over half of the maneuvers that he does in the show are unique to his style.
Sean Tucker.
Clouds, beach. What a job, huh?
Now we're going to jump back in history a little bit and talk about a bomber that made history during World War II. This is the B-25. It is flown by Kermit Weeks, who is the man behind Fantasy of Flight, which restores old aircraft and puts them on display in Polk County, Florida.
Thank God for people like Kermit who restore and operate these airplanes and let us enjoy our aviation heritage.
Now, staying with aircraft that are older but still in use, here's the B-52 Stratofortress bomber.
Well, this is the grand old lady, 50 years young, constantly upgraded, very deadly, with all the capabilities of modern warfare, and a very effective piece of equipment in the war on terrorism.
the B-52 Stratofortress bomber. And here's today's more modern technology in the B-1 Lancer.
And this is another star in our bomber fleet. This is the aircraft that within 45 minutes of notification had 2 precision-guided weapons on the bunkers believed to have Saddam Hussein in place.
And this is an aircraft that has movable wings that go back to make it even faster and more sleek. The B-1 Lancer bomber, and we have yet more to come from Fort Lauderdale. Stay with us. The McDonald's National Salute to the U.S. military.
Number 700. And Jeff Garcia throws an octopus onto the ice.
The ESPY Awards, celebrating our love of sports. July 16th at 9 p.m., presented by GMC.
They're engineers, doctors, students. They live at home and train near home. They're a cornerstone of the U.S. Army. They're soldiers in the Army Reserve, and they are ready to serve wherever, whenever they're needed. For more information, log on to GoArmyReserve.com.
My name's Raj. I design software.
You must be a model.
This is a great party. I like parties. I like to party. We were wondering if the two of you would possibly...
The interactive program guide. Find what you want when you want it. Another way Comcast digital cable makes life a little cooler.
Hi, I'm William Walker, and I used to sell satellite dishes. A word of advice if you're thinking about getting one, don't. They were going to charge me $250 for the install, so I figured I'd do it myself. How hard could it be? I used to get a signal, I had to put the dish on a pole. Then the wind knocked out the pitcher. The dish company told me, wait, they'll come back. I got rid of the dish and got Comcast digital cable. I don't sell the dish anymore.
Back to the McDonald's Air and Sea Show, a national salute to the United States military. Dick Crippen, along with retired Brigadier General Gibby Vartan and the crew of the Goodyear blimp that's flying high over Fort Lauderdale Beach, where the crowds are responding right back. And now they get ready for Ian Groom in the Sukhoi, a Russian-built stunt plane that really wows them and has some world records.
Yes, and that airplane is quite an airplane. It's made out of some really space-age material. You have Kevlar, titanium, stainless steel, and much like Sean Tucker's airplane, able to take very, very high negative and positive G's.
And Ian's real specialty is putting that plane literally into spins and going up and down and all over the sky.
Yes, I believe he set a vertical spin record here during one of the years. And when you see how hard he works at this, it's a real good message to our youngsters to keep themselves in good shape. All of these acrobatic pilots do that. Here he is in a flat spin. And of course, if you look down now, you can see the boat line really good as it comes up in a negative G situation. And here you can see him coming over the top of a loop and then rolling the airplane straight up. Another great shot of the boat line and the shoreline.
Ian Groom loves to challenge not only himself, but the aircraft, and the crowds love it.
These guys make it look real easy, don't they, Dick?
They sure do. Ian Groom, ladies and gentlemen, in the Sukhoi. Now, we welcome from Canada a special salute to the United States military. These are the Snowbirds, a very special group of performance flyers that show grace and beauty.
These lads are from the 431st Air Demonstration Squadron, and we're really honored that they are dedicating their show to the men and women of our armed forces.
This is a unique aircraft for the American public to see when it comes to military aircraft. What is it exactly?
Well, it's their CT-114 trainer. It's called the Tudor, and they've been flying it for many years, so they're very familiar with it, and they put on a great show. They'll tell you that they do 70 shows a year in 40 locations in front of 7 million people. And we can tell them 4 million of them are right here.
Over a 2-day period, better than 4 million in Fort Lauderdale. You're right on with that. Some great shots of the aerobatics that this team can do. And they really specialize mostly in precision flying, don't they?
Absolutely. This is one of the premier demonstration teams in the world. Really graceful. They're led by their squadron leader, Major Will.
These guys have flown all sorts of aircraft before, and they ended up being privileged to get into this squad and literally tour around the world. The Snowbirds out of Canada, giving a salute to the United States military personnel in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now we'll turn our attention to what the crowd always waits for every year. We start with the F-15 Eagle.
This is our premier air superiority aircraft since 1988, and it'll soon be augmented by the F-22 Raptor. Now this is a single-seat version. We do have a two-seat version that has a WISO in the back, or a weapons systems officer. This airplane's been very effective in the close air support role with some real heroics and close air support of some pinned down special forces in Afghanistan that actually took out targets within 200 feet of these pinned down troops.
Now when you see these shots out of the cockpit, looking down on the water, you can see the tremendous spectator fleet that's assembled here. But these shots are so rare to actually get you inside. And there's one of the sights that the crowd loves every time these guys hit the afterburners.
Yeah, I think what we see with these cockpit shots is truly unique. We see some looking forward, some looking back, some looking at the pilot, and it's unparalleled. You can see the gun sight up there in front. These airplanes, though they're demo aircraft, can be back in combat configuration very, very quickly.
What you see at an air show like this is what they do in the field. All of the pilots are trained in these maneuvers. The F-14 Tomcat, the U.S. Navy version.
Now this is the Navy's air superiority fighter. As I mentioned earlier, it works with the F-18 in protecting the fleet. But much like the F-18 and the F-15 and the F-16, it can do all those roles as a fighter bomber. And we do have, sitting back here, we want to make sure you understand the backseater, or the RIA, Radar Intercept Officer, in Navy terms.
And he's the one that has to kind of hold on because the plane is going through maneuvers and he's got to figure out something to hold on to keep himself in the seat there, along with his seat belts that are strapping him in.
Well, I admire those guys that sit back there and ride through some of those maneuvers, and you can see a vertical climb here, rolling, and a lot of power in that airplane.
The F-14 Tomcat certainly came into a lot of recognition when they had the movie Top Gun.
Yes, that really put the Navy aviation program on demand. You can see the stages of the afterburner as the aircraft goes into a vertical climb.
What a shot that is, looking back at that.
Here he is showing a landing configuration with the tail go down and flying real slow.
And I think an amazing thing, Gibby, is his acceleration out of that configuration.
A lot of power in that airplane. And you can see the little diamond puffs that represent the compressor stages of the afterburner.
Now we turn from air to the sea, the floating islands of a ship. And that means if there's a disaster on board, they have to be ready to handle it themselves.
The team that you see here is Cole's onboard fire department. They're all volunteers to join the Navy to do just this kind of thing, and they lead all the damage control efforts for the ship. This event itself is in which they rig a portable pump that draws water and then brings it to the scene as required. We need to be able to do this in case we lose the install pipe in the ship. Very important.
When a major catastrophe hits a ship, or if a fire breaks out or flooding, these are the guys that go and respond. They're the first line of defense. These guys are the ones who go out there and make sure that the ship stays afloat and everybody's life safe. There's an old saying, like in the Marines, everyone's a rifleman, and in the Navy, everyone's a DC man.
You think about what Cole suffered in Aden. One of the reasons the ship is back and we're here to tell the story now is because of the training that these guys undertook. The sailors on board at the time saved that ship. I have the easiest job in the Navy. I just have to create an environment for them to succeed, and they do every day in spades. And this is such a great event for us to be at because it shows that we're back better than ever and we're ready to go do what the president needs us to go do. If you're an American, you should be very proud of all of them.
And we certainly are. And we emphasize again, this is the USS Cole, the ship you heard about that suffered all that damage. And this ship is a mighty, mighty destroyer. But it is a ship that doesn't forget either. This is a lasting tribute to the honor, the courage, and commitment of those on board who were lost in that tragedy. The USS Cole.
We are just absolutely incredibly proud, bursting at the seams, frankly, almost like a proud father of what our young Marines accomplished in this recent war. Overall, we've got about 80% of our total Marine Corps that are forward base, forward stationed, or forward deployed. So we are really committed to global war and terrorism.
What you got there? It's a McGriddle sandwich from McDonald's. What's in it? It's good. It's like a bacon and cheese sandwich, except it's got these 2 griddle cakes with tasty maple syrup inside. That's bizarre. Then again, it's not that bizarre.
New McGriddles. Bizarre, but yummy.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You're looking down on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the military has estimated over 4 million people for the 2 days of the McDonald's Air and Sea Show, the largest spectator event in the world. And along with this event, leading up to it, the Chris Everett Children's Hospital Kids Days. In cooperation with the Broward County School System, they bring out thousands of middle school children and junior ROTC students. It's a day of inspiring, motivating, and educating some core values of service before self.
These people are fighting for us, for peace right here in this country. So when I see, I just feel a lot of respect for them. Because I want to join the army too, so I feel a lot of respect, and I'm like, hopefully I want to be one of them in the future.
How do they do that? They stop and then they spin down back. How do they do that?
Along with all the education and inspiring, they also get a preview of the show, and they loved it. Now here's one of the acts everybody loves, Kirby Chambliss. Talk to me a little bit about how this guy operates this plane, Gibby.
Well, I'll tell you, there's very few people that operate an airplane like he does. Look how crisp those turns are. That airplane doesn't waver an inch. And you know that he's pulling an awful lot of G's while he's doing that, and it's very easy to see why he's the reigning world champ.
Kirby Chambliss also has a way of putting the plane straight up and in this case, dropping it straight down.
Again, a tail slide and done with absolute precision. You can even see he stays right within the smoke when he's doing that vertical climb. This airplane he has, the Zivco 540 Edge, is again a unique airplane. Like most of these top acrobatic pilots, he has a specially designed airplane that meets his qualifications. And those have to be pretty stringent.
I would imagine, and they have to go through a lot of stress tests to make sure that they can take what's happening up there because he's really testing every inch of that airplane.
And they check it regularly. There again, you have an airplane capable of pulling 10 positive G's and over 7 negative G's. That's a lot of stress.
Kirby Chambliss thrilling the crowd in Fort Lauderdale. And as he says goodbye, we welcome the A-10 Warthog. This is a plane that everybody seems to have just a heartfelt warmth for.
Yeah, she's not fast, she's not pretty, but boy, to an infantryman on the ground, she's a welcome sight. And that's day or night in any weather.
And one thing this plane did during the recent war effort, Gibby, was it brought to the fact that there are female pilots, because we had a great story about a young lady who flew this plane back after its tail section had been shot out. It had never been done before with a Warthog.
Well, that's a nice job for any pilot to get back safely after combat damage, and my kudos to her for doing a great job.
This Warthog is a very maneuverable airplane and certainly has become part of the backbone of any attack.
And look at the pilot. He keeps looking around. Situational awareness is absolutely the key when you're low to the ground.
Now we move to a different type of aircraft. The Florida Army National Guard unit brings in the Apache helicopter.
The HH-64, another infantryman's friend. He's got laser-guided guns, Hellfire missiles, can hide down in the weeds. That airplane gets out in front of the troops and looks over the hills, looks down on the roofs to make sure that there's any threats that they can deal with to keep our infantry out of harm's way.
I mean, just looking at it, it gives you chills, because that is firepower on display.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in anybody's enemy armor and have that thing looking down on me.
Now, as the Navy ships were visiting for Fleet Week in Fort Lauderdale, the sailors were working.
The sailors are out here because we have this great community project called Harmony Village, which is a partnership with the town of Davie. And we formed a partnership as well with the Navy. And every year during this time of Fleet Week, the Navy comes out and volunteers with us. And we have repeat folks that come out year after year that are on the same ships coming back to us. And they work in partnership with our families, building our homes.
We're doing what we can for the local area. We provide extra help when we can.
I never thought I was going to have a house, the opportunity to have a house. And I mean, it means a lot to me that the Navy come up here, because at least I know there's some people out there that they care about me. And that means a lot for me.
I know folks are saying thanks to us, but quite frankly, we take just as much pleasure in saying thank you to the patriots that have supported us through thick and thin. This is our way of saying thanks to the citizens of the United States.
And the citizens of Fort Lauderdale, Florida said thanks to the military with some fine parties.
This is a very special week. This is a week of thanks. We're all here today to say thank you to the men and women that are protecting our freedom, protecting democracy, protecting all that we stand for.
And it was a week of fun activities for all the military who were in town as part of Fleet Week USA, presented by McDonald's. And that included some golfing. And remember, these folks had just returned from the war. Good day. They enjoyed it, and it doesn't matter what level they played, whether they'd ever played before or not. It was a good time.
The youngster that runs the ship. You gotta love that.
And here's something else they gotta love, and that's the nighttime entertainment that was had all throughout Fort Lauderdale. They really welcomed the sailors of Fleet Week. And along with that welcoming committee were Miss Florida and Miss Miami. It was a fun time. We'll be back with more in a moment.
I think all of America is proud of what our men and women have done in this recent event. And it just speaks to the quality of the people that we have, I think, and as well as the training that we give them.
You train like you fight. As you know, when you don't have to think about it, you have time to think about the other things, like the bad weather, the people shooting at you. Where are you going? Downtown Baghdad. Okay, I didn't think we owned that yet. So, yeah, the training is paramount. Train like you fight, and you will win, and you will see it every time.
The most incredible feeling, if you can save somebody's life, ensure that they get home, the mom, dad, the sons or daughters, it was all well worth it.
records of the world's best outdoor athletes.
Oh, what a great run!
23 outdoor events.
That is unbelievable. Wow. This is going to be a huge upset. Oh.
In the only arena that can hold them.
That gives them the gold medal.
Watch the 2003 Great Outdoor Games, presented by Dodge, the ultimate championship for outdoor sports. July 19th through the 22nd.
You want the best values in America? Well, they're here now at the Dodge Summer Sales Drive.
Where you'll find our best products.
Like the Durango SXT, with available 7-passenger seating and rear air. And our best deals. Get a $4,500 cash allowance or 0% APR financing for 60 months on Durango.
All with Dodge's 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
Let us prove we got the best values in America. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today.
The beaches and the roads leading to the beaches are jammed in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. For the McDonald's Air and Sea Show, a national salute to the U.S. military. Now, along with the show that we've been talking about, there are a lot of corporate displays and there are a lot of recruiting displays. It's a great opportunity to show young people of America what opportunities await them in the military service. And you know what? It was also a good opportunity for corporate America to be thankful for the United States military. And they were. The crowds enjoyed some great food and some great activities. And they also enjoyed the General of the Conch Republic, Key West. His name is Freddie Cabanas, and he flies a Pitts. And boy, there's a plane that's been known in the stunt world for a long time, Gibby.
Yes, and his is a classic, and of course Freddie himself is a classic. He's a member of the Screen Actors Guild. He's got 20,000 hours of flying time. He runs a tourist air service down there in Key West. I guess you have to call him a pretty high-profile guy. And a pretty good pilot. There he is inverted in an inverted spin. That'll give you a headache.
It's amazing. As many times as I watch these aerobatic pilots, I just am amazed that they don't get sick flying those aircrafts, but they're so focused and so concentrated. They're watching the controls and the horizon around them.
Well, I agree with you. It's amazing they don't get sick, but if you ever have the good fortune to ride in the back seat of one of them, you might not be so fortunate.
This is true. As a matter of fact, I've heard a story about a couple of people who are considered the best pilots in the world. When they don't have control of the aircraft and they're not thinking about the control of the aircraft, it plays on them like it does the average person.
Well, I can agree with that 100% on my own case.
Freddie Cabanas, known as the General of the Conch Republic. Several great moments occurred during Fleet Week USA when some sailors visited Horizon Elementary School in Fort Lauderdale.
It's really nice to be able to come down here and take a little break and take a load off because the hours that we've been working lately have been unbelievable.
I feel very honored that they pick our school to come back to. It is a very proud feeling, especially during these times. We just got finished with the war in Iraq, and there's a lot of American pride. And it personally, as a principal, it makes me feel very, very special that the eyes of the world are looking at my little school here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
I think they get an appreciation of the military, but the military becomes real to them in that they see active people. For a lot of our students, their fathers have completed their military career before they were born. So it gives them a chance to see the young sailors and see that that's a potential for them.
I think it's very brave what they're doing because they're putting their lives on the line for millions of other people.
It really makes us feel like celebrities. These kids are they've been absolutely fabulous, and it really shows how much what we do means to them. And before, I didn't realize so many of the younger people knew what was going on out in the world, but they really do, and they're proud of us. It makes us feel good.
Back on the water, we have a rescue demonstration about to take place with Group Miami from the United States Coast Guard. And Gibby, I want to point out how important, vital a role the Coast Guard played in the war in Iraq. We heard about all the other services, and a lot of people didn't realize that the United States Coast Guard was over there.
Yes, they were there to provide some inshore security, and of course the group here in Miami is the busiest in the world, and I think the largest group in the U.S. Coast Guard.
There you can see a great rescue at sea, and that's how they do it. They don't only do it for military, they do it for civilians day in and day out. What a great thing to have the United States Coast Guard on duty, and these people appreciate them. Now we have a very special tribute. This is the Heritage Flight. It's a Warthog, an F-15, and a P-51 flying in memory of those who not only lost in the war, but all those who have served. And some of those came back injured. And I'm happy to say that some of those who were injured are guests right here today in Fort Lauderdale of the McDonald's Air Sea Show, the Salute to the United States Military. And we salute them now with the Heritage Flight.
Abraham Lincoln and that air wing come home, and all the homecoming events that we saw on so many of the television channels. There are still a lot more folks in the Navy out there serving, but it was wonderful to have the first group go home.
It's actually a bittersweet homecoming. It's really nice to be back with family and friends, but to be honest with you, all of us Marines really want to be back there with our units. We'd actually like to have all come home at the same time.
We've seen the hardware, but the real people who make all that work and who are able to draw those kind of assets together to form, in my opinion, the strongest and best military in the world.
Your credit files help creditors, employers, and lenders make important decisions about you. Decisions that may affect your ability to get the credit, job, or insurance you need. Identity Guard is a credit management service that gives you ongoing access to critical information. You'll get your 3-bureau credit report so you can verify every reported account and balance and dispute inaccuracies that could put you at risk. Identity Guard's Credit Analyzer will show you how you can manage your credit so you can improve your score over time and save money. You'll receive quarterly updates to help you track those changes. And if you need help, credit specialists are standing by. Your credit is one of the most important financial resources you have. Don't apply for a loan or a job without Identity Guard. Take control of your credit today so you can enjoy the things you want tomorrow. Enroll now for the special introductory rate of just $19.95 for the first 3 months of service. Call 800-433-6900. That's 800-433-6900 for Identity Guard.
McDonald's new McGriddles. Crisp bacon, fluffy egg, and melted cheese, sandwiched between 2 griddle cakes with the taste of maple syrup baked right in. Honey, you ever seen anything so bizarre? Honey?
No, I haven't.
Introducing new McGriddles. They're bizarre, but they're yummy.
Who's your sensei?
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
For the ultimate entertainment, get the ultimate double feature. HBO and Cinemax. HBO has top Hollywood hit movies and groundbreaking originals. Cinemax delivers the best exclusive premieres with the fewest repeats. Together, they're the ultimate double feature. And with digital cable, you get multiple channels. HBO and Cinemax, the ultimate double feature.
No one beats my deals on tires and wheels. Hi, I'm Skip Lightfoot from Skip's Tire and Auto Centers.
Bring in any of our competitors' ads and we'll beat it. No more shopping at price clubs or waiting for tire sales. Skip's Tire and Auto Centers will meet or beat anyone's prices on all major brand tires like Goodyear, Michelin, Goodrich, Yokohama, Firestone, and more.
You bought your tires anywhere else, you paid too much.
Skip's Tire and Auto Centers in Scotts Valley on Mount Herman Road and 4 locations in San Jose. Skip's Tire and Auto Center.
To this national salute to the U.S. military, and the salute comes from the millions assembled on the beach with American flags in hand. A salute to those who have served and those who are about to serve.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
This is the future. 150 recruits being sworn in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you saw them earlier. This is another shot of the Golden Knights, and we'll travel down with them at over 100 miles per hour.
This is the Army's premier demonstration team. 3 missions they have. 1, to enhance recruiting. 2, to develop new techniques for jumping. 3, to appear in international competitions.
And they've appeared all over the world. This message goes out everywhere.
They've performed in all 50 states and 47 countries. They're truly the Army's ambassadors to the world.
And what about these chutes that they're using?
Well, they're steerable, they're used by special forces, and you can see it allows a precision landing.
The Golden Knights of the United States Army. Now we go skyward again for the Red Baron Pizza Squadron, and you're going to get to ride along with them. Now, this is a little bit of history in these planes, Gibby.
Absolutely is. This is the kind of airplane that America fell in love with, barnstorming and acrobatic flying and all the romance that was generated out of those pilots from World War I.
And the Stearman is also one of the planes they used for those wing walkers who used to stand up on top there and fly upside down and what have you.
It absolutely is that, and it's got that big radial engine and those big wings and 2 cockpits. It brings back a lot of great memories.
I think one of the things that people love about these planes, outside of their absolute beauty while they're flying, and the Red Baron Squadron does a tremendous job of that, but I think the noise they make.
I think so. The noise, no matter where it is, converting fuel to noise catches the public eye. And these lipstick cameras that we have give us an unprecedented view of these great acrobatic pilots as they do their show.
What a great view of Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding area from well above the beaches in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The precision of this team is tremendous, and this is a team that travels literally all over the country with performances.
Here's one of their signature moves, a big heart.
That's for the ladies in the audience, Gibby.
Yes, you always have to please the ladies. Magnificent action coming over the top in formation. Get to see the loop. Great shot of the beach.
The Red Baron Squadron. And some terrific flights. Look at that as he pulls away. Remember, this salute is for the men and women.
Technology we're very proud of, but it's the men and women who developed and built and fly those things that really are the key. That's America's leading edge.
Leading edge? How about this leading edge? Truly is. This is the B-2 stealth bomber.
I believe this is technology no other nation will be able to equal, both from the research and development point of view and the overall cost, which is about $1 billion per aircraft. You'll notice the evolution of the design over the F-117, the rounded surfaces of this aircraft, and it has great payload capacity and ability to deliver precision weapons, 13,000-mile missions, put those weapons on the target, pinpoint accuracy.
Fleet Week USA, presented by McDonald's, also featured some hospital visits.
These types of visits are for sailors that want to get out in the community, and that's important for us to let us be ambassadors of goodwill. And the other part is just to say hi and thank you to them and give them a little hope. We need to show thanks back to the citizens of this fine country, and being a good ambassador is our way of doing that.
The school and hospital visits were by day. By night, the military was treated to some fun times. Another way of showing appreciation. It's a national salute that happens every year, and it takes a company like MDM Group Limited to produce and pull all the elements together. Not only the military elements, but the fun times too. And believe me, they are fun times.
What you got there? It's a McGriddle sandwich from McDonald's. What's in it? It's good. It's like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Except it's got these 2 griddle cakes with the taste of maple syrup inside. That's bizarre.
Then again, it's not that bizarre.
New McGriddles. Bizarre, but yummy.